The impeachment train is leaving the station. The big question is when. With presidential primary voting set to begin in only a couple of months, some voters are concerned about the timing, others not so much. Would you like to have it happen the sooner the better?
The sooner the better. At least 2 years ago, please.
This is not correct because it was just law.
If it's something that warrants impeachment, I think it should happen. I don't care about timing.
I think it just needs to be done as soon as possible. I mean, I think it's mutually exclusive of the election.
It's been going on from day one since Trump got elected, and I'm not sure I really feel that it's legitimate.
Single greatest scam is a scam. It's a witch hunt.
It's a hoax.
If it's true, it needs to be addressed. If it's not true, it needs to be addressed, and timing doesn't concern me at all.
Get it done. There's so much that has to be done. And anybody that doesn't feel that way, they're part of that muddy the waters, okay? I'm just not a fan of the muddy in the waters.
The resolution is adopted.
This resolution today only makes it worse.
I want Trump to win. Guarantee there to be a woman president in 2024, and it'll be a pretty entertaining election. I just want to see Ivanka versus AOC, so that's my view.
You heard it here first.
You know what the best part of that was? That guy had 2 phones in his hands. If he had 3 hands, he had 3 phones in his hands. Well, welcome to the OTR Roundtable. Of course, we're joined by Marianne Marsh this morning, and Rob Gray is with us. Congressman Lynch sat in the chair, guys, and let me just put it out in front. You know, what any bets on his winning the House Oversight Chairmanship, and would he be the answer, Marianne?
You can never underestimate Steve Lynch. He's made a career out of being underestimated. When he ran for the legislature, no one thought he would beat the younger Bulger. He did. Same for Congress. Here we are. But it is a tough race. He's up against 2 formidable opponents. Carolyn Maloney, who's the acting chair right now. Because of seniority, the Congressional Black Caucus is backing her. That's 53 members. That's a lot of votes right there. And then Jackie Speier, who's from California, has a lot of support. Perhaps the support of Pelosi, but again, don't underestimate him. He's pulled a rabbit out of a hat before.
It would take, what, 70-ish or so to win. Rob, right.
I mean, Massachusetts Democrats have a very good track record in leadership fights in Congress, so I would not count out Steve Lynch. However, the seniority is a big roadblock to get around when it comes to next in line matters when it's, you know, leadership
and
fights.
His seniority is pretty high there. Yeah. Let's talk about Congresswoman Lori Trahan. She's making more news with an old issue. Do you think she used her husband's money or their money to finance the last days of her very slim margin of victory over Dan Coe? She released a lengthy several-page explanation. First, will voters care? And second, is it enough for Dan Coe to run again? Rob, let's start with you.
Here's the thing. One of my cardinal rules of political campaigns is voters don't care about campaign finance. They really don't. They don't vote on it. However, Dan Coe using this as the linchpin for him getting into the race is pretty weak, I think. But her explanation at the same time, she admits guilt, and it was a strange explanation. So she has to hope that regulators don't go after her in the short term. She could end up in a problem. If they delay it, she's probably fine.
Is Rob right on both counts, Marianne?
Lori Trahan has a big problem, and this explanation made it worse, not better. It is at least her 3rd try at trying to explain this. And if it were true that she had her husband's money too, they put it together and put it into the campaign, if that's true, then why didn't she say that at the outset? Instead, now we see she has spent in 1 quarter, that's 3 months, folks, $186,000 to a D.C. law firm who clearly authored that letter within an inch of its life, and it still doesn't explain it. So politically, she's in bigger trouble now than she was last week, and honestly, any real candidate could come up against her, and she would have trouble with her reelection, and she has to think about that long and hard because Donald Trump has FEC problems and campaign finance problems too, and they're coming to the forefront in the next few weeks, and that's a problem for Lori Trahan.
But is Dan Coe going to beat her in the primary? I seriously doubt it.
Who knows?
I seriously doubt it.
But the fact that she's not come up with a credible explanation, and this is, again, the 3rd or 4th try, there's something wrong there, and there's something not being told.
All right, and the next item is Bob DeLeo announced this week that he will run for another term after serving House Speaker for a decade. But some freshman members are publicly criticizing him, and a former chairman, Jay Kaufman, is accusing the Speaker of threatening to take his relationship and talk about his relationship if he didn't vote a certain way. Is there any of this a real threat? Is any of it a real threat, Marianne?
think it's mostly inside baseball. Look, there's a reason he's probably about to become the longest serving speaker in history and running for re-election, because he's doing a good job and people in the legislature and his constituents think so. You know, I think that makes a big, big difference. And DeLeo has made clear that he likes steady as you go, slow as you, it may be slow, but steady. And it's been a sharp contrast to the Senate, which has had a real roller coaster ride with scandal and much, much more.
Rob?
I'd say DeLeo's spot on Beacon Hill is about as solid as Belichick's spot on the sideline.
Really?
Yeah.
Coach for life, speaker for life?
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, these younger members like to kick the tires, and the media like to kick the tires. You know, how's it look? Could he be taken out? I don't think so.
Rob's always so succinct.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Elizabeth Warren has finally released her Medicare for All plan. Lots of new taxes on the super wealthy and everyone's investments. But after a cursory glance at the numbers, does it add up for you, Rob?
Not even close. I mean, you know, I can't add all those zeros, okay? This is a $20 trillion tax hike, and that's for one program that she's proposing. That's not even getting into the rest of the spending. The last candidate to come out and say, I'm going to raise your taxes, was Walter Mondale in 1984, and he lost 49 states.
Do you see any flaws in this plan, Marianne?
That's not what she's doing. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. The politics on the one side will, again, continue to bring progressives and Sanders supporters with her. The payment on the other side was very smart because she drew a contrast with Donald Trump. She said, oh yeah, this is going to be the biggest tax cut anyone has ever gotten, and the middle class, by comparison to what Trump did to the tippy top 1% who got theirs. She's returning $11 trillion to middle class people who now won't have to spend that on deductibles and payments and copays. They're putting that back into the economy and jumpstarting the economy as well with that. So they're paying less for health care, more money in their pockets that can go to, you know, all kinds of things in the economy. And at the same time, comparing that, you know, a big contrast with Trump. And I think that's a smart plan.
We continue on the record. Stay with us.